Hello, Miss Honoree. How are you doing?
I'm magnificent. Thank you very much for asking.
Magnificent.
Magnificent. I have a friend who that's what she says. She is just so delightful in her talk when she talks to people.
Hmm.
And she always says, "You are magnificent." And I thought, wow, that's amazing. I want to be magnificent all the time. So I've started saying it, and it has a nice you right, you reacted to it. It kind of makes
Mhm.
you stop and
Yep.
and ponder that. It's like, oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine, right? It's a little bit different. So thanks for asking. How are you?
Fan flippin-tastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have
All
probably
right
said
then.
magnificent, but
Right.
um, I thought, well, what if what have I heard that's similar to that has like an effect on you? Yep, I don't have
Yeah.
any of those.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I think it was We Were Soldiers Once. Is that the name of that movie? Mel Gibson.
I think so. Yeah.
There's that gunny sergeant. He's like this grumpy old E9, and the kid's like, "Good morning, gunny sergeant," and he's like, "What are you, the freaking weatherman?" You know? Yeah, I got 25 years of those in my head. But they don't really match magnificent, so a
I was gonna say you probably didn't hear a lot of that on the boat. On the boat. Right?
lot of grunting.
A lot of,
Yeah,
coming out my coffee.
yeah. Um, well, so to get away, I guess to get away from the topic of grunting
Yeah.
and craziness, you and I,
Although
we have
that has promise.
yeah, yeah. There's probably a whole episode we could do
Oh, I would bet.
on that. You and I were talking right before we came on about like all kinds of exciting stuff that's happening right now. So, like you want to share a little bit about what you got going on?
No.
Oh yeah. All the magnificent stuff stays behind closed
All the
doors.
magnificent stuff we can. Well, I will be able to make an announcement very soon, which is super cool. I'm about to sign an agreement on something, which is a new venture for me. So that I can't talk about. You can't talk about it till the ink's dry, right? That's
That is right.
not appropriate. And so what I'm working on that I can talk about is our EBM meetings that are coming up in June. So we've got the small in-person special session, and then we've got the mid-year meeting, which is a million little details all coming together like a ballet with any luck. Oh, we have a new assistant,
Yeah.
so that's new and exciting. So
Yes.
yeah, that's just such a blessing. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on. Anything good in your world?
Yeah. I onboarded my son as an actual employee of my company, so that I can employ him over the winter. So that's been fun because we've been setting up for video editing and file exchanges and all the stuff that comes with like content creation on the video side. He does shorts.
Do you mean
Um,
summer,
what did I say?
winter?
Did I say winter?
You did.
Oh my gosh, where am I?
I don't know. I was like, wait a minute, where are we? What does he call you? Does he call you Big Boss Daddy, or like what's the what do we call you
He
when
calls
you're
me
the
Dada.
when you're the dad and the boss? Like, what do we call
Well,
you?
when he wants something from me, he acts all sweet and he says Dada. When he doesn't want anything from me and he just like
Oh,
wants to work, he's like, hey, it's another dude in my house, you know?
so there's grunting.
There's a little bit of that, yeah.
A little bit of grunting, teenage
Yeah,
grunting. Yeah.
most
All right.
definitely. So yeah, we've been working the last few days just to get him up to speed on how everything works and what type of content I want to create for shorts and different things to distribute. So he's strictly on like video based content editing
That's
for me, and
great.
he's also going to do some research for me. So
Okay, on your fiction?
no, actually for social media stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, when I'm like, hey, I want to know what like duration videos perform best on X platform, he's going to go do the research and come back and
Am I
let me
going to
know.
see you dancing to TikTok
No,
videos now? Is that what's coming? I got to prepare my eyes for these
no, there
things.
shall be none of that.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there shall be none of that. No,
Aw,
but for the purpose of people that are watching this that are probably thinking, oh, I want to repurpose my content. Yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do. I have a lot of video content as a course creator, whether it
yeah.
be course material or podcasts that are in video form on
Outtake.
Spotify or YouTube, and he can just get in there and start
That's
chopping things
awesome.
up.
That
So we're
sounds great.
making themes that we can go
Yeah,
by the week, and it'll be like
yeah.
a topic every week, and he's going to start putting those out for me. So
Sweet.
yeah.
I like it.
But speaking of applications and social media and stuff,
All right. Yes.
we've got to talk about. Well, we have to finish chapter 6, I believe it is. Yes, chapter 6
Oh,
of You Must Market Your Book. We are on the section in chapter 6, page 64, about book marketing tools, applications, and resources. So, kids, if you have your copy at home, open to page 64 to follow along.
fine.
And
And I
this,
even bookmarked it.
I have a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for this topic because a lot of it's the software that helps us
Yeah,
do what we do. And it's
that's
a
right.
force multiplier for an entrepreneur,
It is.
right? So I was excited when I opened this chapter in the book to find that I was either using or familiar with most, if not all, of the platforms that you spoke
Yeah.
about. So I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And these are marketing type applications, right? These are things you use to
Mhm.
help with your marketing efforts. So
Yep.
if you're an author and you're thinking, where's all the software for writing and editing and all that stuff, that's not what this is,
Mm-mm.
right? So on the book side of the conversation, you have two applications that I think are worth um, starting the conversation with, and that's BookFunnel and BookBub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Two of my favorites. So BookBub is a place where you can go to market your books. You can place ads with BookBub. You can actually get a BookBub. So I'm using that as a noun. Um, and a BookBub is so BookBub is an online platform, and they have an email list that is so large in each genre. And so when you get a BookBub, they select your book for a promotion one day, a 1 day promotion where you're discounting the price of your book. So it's either free, 99 cents, 199, something like that. I think those are the three tiers. There might be a 299. Nevertheless, they feature your book by sending an email out to their list and saying this book that's normally $7.99, $9.99 is now this lower price. And BookBub is well known as being a kingmaker. They're really hard at forms. They want to see that you are putting a discount on your book. They want to see that your book's been around for a while, that it's a certain size. Like I submitted the best-selling book formula and they said, that's not a book. That's too short to be a book. And I was like, well, au contraire, mon frere, but okay, whatever. It's your platform. You can deny me if you want, but they have certain criteria. So if you are selected, they can take your book from obscurity to massive success, and it will launch it in such a way that very few other, if any other opportunities exist for that. Now I applied for my first BookBub thinking, like randomly thinking I'm not going to get chosen. And this was 2011. So this was a long time ago, 2011, 2012, something like that. And I got it the first day, like within 2 hours. I was leaving a book conference and I was like, you guys, I got a BookBub. And they were like, on your first try, we hate you. You are dead to us. But all of my subsequent BookBub deals have been hard fought. I've had at least one cut or bruise for each subsequent BookBub, and they are spendy. They are several $100s or over $1,000 for your featured deal, which you will make back in spades, but it does set people back on their heels a little bit. But I love BookBub. And then BookFunnel also has a special place in my heart because I know the creator, Damon Courtney, of BookFunnel. And I was at the conference with a writer's conference where he said, I think I have this idea for how to share book files without compromising intellectual property. In other words, how do you deliver your book manuscript to someone without them having the ability to steal it, post it up on, Google or what have you? And BookFunnel was born, and it is to this day how I give away a free copy of my books. If you go to my website, you can download a free copy. It's in my email signature. It's how I deliver advanced reader copies to my art. Absolutely love BookFunnel. As a matter of fact, when I work with someone, it's one of the expenses of doing their book. It's like, we got to pay for cover design. You need an editorial team, and you're going to need this little tool that integrates with your email system. And most new authors or first-time authors are like, what are you talking about? Once I explain it, they really understand that not only can you use it for all of the things that I mentioned, but there are lots of other applications you can use BookFunnel for as well. So that's kind of the, now don't you want to go check it out?
Oh yeah.
Cliffhanger.
And I
Yeah,
love BookFunnel. I mean, the minute you introduced me to it, I thought, oh, this is cool because they have a very clean landing page for the
yeah,
book that you can
fantastic.
use as, as an extension of your site, or just to present your book in a very nice way on the web. If you're not, maybe you're in the process of rebuilding your website and you're like, here, like it's clean, it's professional, they can
Landing
get access
pages,
immediately.
yeah, landing pages delivers the book in all
Yep.
formats, so people can sideload it onto their devices, whether it's their phone or their Kindle, their iPad, whatever. It's just a fantastic, it's a way to build your email list. You can integrate it with your email service, and it is $100 a year.
Yeah. Awesome.
And it's even less than that if you use the basic program. So I pay $100 a year for the BookFunnel and $50 a year for the integration to ConvertKit,
Hmm.
and it automatically just builds my email list. It's absolutely fantastic. I could not recommend it more enthusiastically.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like the part that you mentioned about the integration, because you don't have to pull a file from BookFunnel and then upload it to
Oh,
your CRM. It does all that magic for you. One quick question about BookFunnel: can you sell your book direct through BookFunnel?
mm-hmm.
There you go. So if
Yeah,
you're looking for a place to park your ebooks that's professional, controlled, fairly automated, you can sell your ebooks directly through BookFunnel.
yeah, and they keep making it better. It does so much more than I even use it for. I see all the different functionalities sometimes, and I think I need to schedule 2 or 3 hours on my calendar just to poke around in here and see what's going on, see what else I
Love
can
it.
do. Yeah.
So for those that are interested in breaking away from some of the more bigger names for ebook distribution, BookFunnel is one of the ways you can do it. That you have just a little bit more indie. Got it.
Yeah, sell direct.
All right. And then for communications, you mentioned in the book Slack and Voxer, and we use both of those
We
quite
do.
frequently together. You want to talk a little bit about those?
Yeah. So Slack is an application that you that is not unlike Facebook in terms of you can post on a main timeline, you can have different channels. So that would be like Facebook groups, Slack channels, different subject areas. I use it with my assistant. We use it in EBM. You and I use it to send messages back and forth. You can really contain subjects in Slack. So you can send a text message, you can send a voice text message, which I love. You can upload images. I mean, it's a really great place to house things for the business. And then Voxer is voice texting on steroids. It's a secure message center where you can do group voice messaging or individual voice messaging, but you can also type messages, you can send files, you can send images, you can send GIFs.
We're
GI,
fans.
not GIFT. Um, is it GIFs? Is it GIFs? I don't know. Anyway, so that's very handy. Just this morning, I was at the gym on the treadmill, needed to send something to Bailey, our assistant, and just whipped out Voxer and sent her a long voice message so that she would have it. She could go back to it. She could reference it. She could tell me if I was crazy and I wasn't making sense. All of that in the same. And you can have a kind of a real-time conversation with someone without actually being on the phone with them, so that the messages are recorded and can be referenced later. So those are two of my favorite. And
Right.
also great, Voxer is great for the book marketing application. It's a great way to connect with your readers. It's a great way to connect with your fans. You could do a group Voxer chat for book marketing. It's not something I mentioned in my book, but you could put your advanced reader team in there, like say the first 15 people, you could do a Voxer chat and they could ask you questions. So all kinds of applications for it.
Nice. And that might be an alternative to something like a Facebook group.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to do it there, if you're trying to do it somewhere it's a little bit more private, exclusive, a little more secure, a little less
Yep.
controlled.
Yeah.
I love it. I have never thought about using Voxer for that. So thanks for that idea. That's pretty, now you got my wheels turning.
I'm good.
And then for documents, you mentioned Dropbox. You and I are big fans of sharing Dropbox files and using Dropbox to organize the work we do together on EBMC. You want to talk a little bit about how you're using it as an independent self-published author?
Yeah, I am a big fan of owning wherever my intellectual property lives. And so I know a lot of people use um, a, a,
Free
a,
services.
a well-known free service,
Yeah.
but the fine print on those services, unless you pay for them, is that they own what's on their platform, right? You put it on there for free. Guess what? They have a claim to it. You want to avoid that. So I use Dropbox because I pay for Dropbox and the storage, and Dropbox allows me to share the documents with other people for whom the documents make sense.
Right.
So as a self-published author, I put all of my documents for each of my books in its own individual Dropbox folder. So I have Honoree quarter books, and underneath that, I have each title that I have written, and then I have the individual folders within the book. So I have previous files, I have draft files, I have final files, I have art. So my advanced reader team, email sequences, everything is in there. I also have all of the artwork. So the final files for the EPUB, for the print PDFs, for the covers, like all the images all go within there. And actually in my next book, Write Your First Nonfiction Book, which is coming out the end of June 2023, I actually share how I save each version of my manuscript, because there was a time when I was working on a manuscript and it was not my manuscript. It was not solely my manuscript. And my co-author deleted Dropbox from a computer and deleted all of the Dropbox files from the computer and lost 7 chapters
Oh,
of a manuscript. And any author out there is going, it
yeah.
all ended well. It all ended well. Everyone's fine. No one died. Was close. We were on the bubble there for a minute. But you know, I love the fact that I can save every version. And so I save every version of a file, and everything is housed in that Dropbox folder, which I can access on my computer, on my phone, on my iPad, and my assistant can access it. My designer can access it. My editor can access it if I give them access to those folders, right?
Mm.
So it's a really great place that's secure, that I own, that also can house everything, and you can pay for the 1 terabyte of documentation. Good luck having a terabyte if you're a solopreneur, right, or a solo author. You're going to have to work hard to have more than a terabyte of documentation.
Yeah, become a course creator, guys. You'll destroy that number with all the video files, animations and stuff. My son goes, "Hey, you want to send your files to the server?" We got a brand new server he built up. And I said, "Sure." And I hit go, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, what are you moving?" I said, "Those are just my raw video files because they're filmed in such high res."
Yeah.
It was overnight. It took like 12 hours for the files to move. So I feel fortunate when I'm working with my book content that it's like, wee, it's like
Right.
pretty,
So fast. So fast. It's a
um,
Word document.
yeah,
It's
yeah, it's like
right.
right in there, which is
Yeah.
awesome because who
Yeah.
wants to wait around for all that stuff?
Right.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to address from that section is that you mentioned Anchor for podcasting, and I'm a huge fan of Anchor. They have changed the name to podcast from Spotify. So Anchor
What?
was, yeah, it's pretty recent. It was like in the
Rude.
last 2 months. So if you look up Anchor, it'll still direct. But just in like the
Oh,
last like 45 to 60 days, basically Spotify's like, we've bought the brand, we've used it, we've nurtured it. Now we're going to fully absorb it. So now they're calling it
oh,
podcast for Spotify.
okay.
Yep, and they even are changing the icons. So if you're out there looking for Anchor, you will still find it if you Google search Anchor podcast. It'll Spotify is not crazy; they're leaving all that active. But don't get confused if you see podcast for
Wow.
Spotify.
hopefully for a while. And can I just mention then that as an indie author, I can go and change the contents of my book
Yep.
now. So I make a note. I don't do it more than once a year, but when it comes time for the 1 year anniversary of this book, I'll be putting out the second edition shortly before or after, and I will make any updates for any app changes. Although rude, Anchor, rude, that was rude. Spotify.
The cool part about it, very intuitive, free account, one account per email address, and unlimited podcast. Basically what it is Spotify wants to be able to host your podcast. More
Yeah,
podcasts, the better for Spotify,
yeah,
because then
yeah.
they can add their ad revenue.
Monetize it. Mm-hmm.
So it's a fantastic platform to use for podcasting, especially if you want to test out the waters before you invest like tons of time and effort in podcasting. I'm running 3 shows out of it right now. It's going to probably be 4 by the end of the year. So I love Anchor / podcast from Spotify. So,
Nice. Love it. Love
all
it.
right. Any parting notes, wisdom, anything before we jump
What
off
was
on
the
it?
other one? Anchor and
That's the only one we mentioned in or you mentioned.
oh, all right. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Then
For
no.
podcasting.
The end. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please like, love, share, comment. Are there any book marketing apps that you use that help you to easily market your books and find readers? Connect with your readers, connect with places where readers find books like bookstores or libraries. How are you using social media and applications to market your book? We would love to know. So put that in the comments, ring the bell, like, love, and share this episode. Lucas, take it away.
It's a pleasure to be with you today, Miss Honoree.
Always.
All right, guys, we'll see you in the next episode. Take it easy.
Bye, everyone.